Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, doing the breakdown video for the Javonte Davis versus Isaac Cruz WBA regular lightweight championship title fight that takes place on Sunday, December 5th, in the main event of a Showtime pay-per-view card. Yes, I said Sunday. Mayweather has been doing that. When he fought those couple joke fights that he did. He's been doing Sunday. He thinks Sunday's a better day, and whatever. But that fight takes place on December 5th, Showtime pay-per-view main event, and it's a pretty good matchup, actually. It came to happen because Rolando Romero, the undefeated, I think he was the interim champion, failed to. He failed in the sense of he got 7 women accuse him, I think it was 7, of assault. So he backed out of the fight. The PBC and Showtime had to scramble to get an opponent, and Isaac Cruz was the guy, and that makes the most sense because he's probably the best fighter that the PBC could come up with for him to fight at 135. Because, outside of, people need to understand that it's really not easy for these promotions when they're tied to networks. It's really not easy for these promotions to make fights with each other. It's just not. On basically a 4.5 week notice, Isaac Cruz is a very credible opponent for Javonte Davis. And to be honest, after Davis defeated Mario Barrios earlier this year, I predicted that Isaac Cruz would be Davis's next opponent because it was the easiest fight to make against the most available and best fighter that works with the PBC, and Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is a guy floating right around the top 10. He's been solid. He's had a couple nice wins recently. So the guy's rolling, and he put himself in a good position, but not quite a title shot yet. But now he's getting his shot. And this fight is big from the sense that the winner is potentially next in line to fight the winner of Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos, which would essentially be for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. So, big fight on the horizon for both Javonte Davis or Isaac Cruz, whoever wins this showdown right here on December 5th. So, that's what comes. The spoils of war comes for the winner of this fight. Now, breakdown videos, how they work. I ask questions on both sides. We start with the favorite, and then we go to the underdog. This case, it would be Javonte Davis, the favorite, the champion. Isaac Cruz, the underdog, the challenger, will go second. But I ask the questions. First, I do a brief rundown of what these guys have been doing before this fight, how they got here. Then I ask the questions. What kind of fight do they need to fight to win? Can they win by knockout? Can they win by decision? What does it mean for them? What does it mean for boxing if they win? And what does it mean for them? What does it mean for boxing if they lose? So, and like I said, we do the favorite, then we do the underdog, and then I give my prediction at the end of it. So let's start with the undefeated favorite, 3-division world champion, Javonte Davis, who currently holds belts at both 135 and 140. And in his last fight, he had an impressive late stoppage win over previously undefeated Mario Barrios. As he moved up to 140 for his first time, I was impressed by that. I figured it could be competitive, and it was. Barrios was much bigger. But, Davis went in there, broke him down, and stopped him. I think he's learning his trade craft. He's learning that he's going to be more successful if he's a boxer-puncher. And he went in there, broke down Mario Barrios, stopped him in the later rounds, and captured a secondary title at 140. And, prior to that, he scored the knockout of the year last year, laying out Leo Santa Cruz at 130 pounds. So, he's cutting down 5 pounds, but lightweight really is the better weight for him. And he's coming off his 2 best wins of his career, in my opinion. And he's hungry. Javonte Davis looks focused. He looks like he's in shape every fight. I was impressed as hell at the shape he came in against Leo Santa Cruz last October. And he just looks like he is ready to go, and he's focused, and he wants blood. And I'm looking forward to it. I think he's going to come in against Cruz ready and good to go. So what kind of fight does he need to fight to beat Isaac Cruz? Well, he needs to keep doing what he's been doing. Isaac Cruz is a brawler. He's a guy that likes to come forward, likes to brawl, likes to get on the inside and mix it up. He's been successful with that. He has a high work rate. Davis needs to jab and throw his hooks and try to set up those timed power punches. That's the thing. Davis can rip. But that uppercut he landed on Leo Santa Cruz was a beautifully timed uppercut that scored the knockout of the year. And it's punches like that. You have to set them up with the jab, with hooks, with combinations. And Javonte Davis needs to learn that he can be a very, very good fighter, and he has the talent if he realizes that he's not just a brawler and a power puncher, that he is a boxer puncher. He gets that down, and I think he's understanding his tradecraft. I really do. And he's been successful, and he has to work that kind of fight against Isaac Cruz. Cannot overlook Isaac Cruz. Like I said, Isaac Cruz is confident as hell. He's rolling. He's got three big wins recently that have him pumped up, like 3 in a row, beating solid competition that have him pumped up. He's good to go, and he's built for 12 rounds. So Javonte Davis needs to not overlook him. He needs to not let him on the inside and make it a dogfight. He needs to get in there, box, set up his punches, and land early. Test his power out. Let Isaac Cruz know he's in there with a dog in Javonte Davis. He does that, he's going to have success. Now, can Javonte Davis win this fight by knockout? And I think he can. I think Davis is extremely powerful, and he sets his punches up. If he boxes to set up his power, yes, he absolutely can knock out Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz has lost one fight in his career, and it was very early on. So you haven't seen him get hurt really to this point. But Davis has that blitzing kind of power. So I think Davis could stop him early. I think he could stop him late. It just depends on what kind of fight it ends up being. But Isaac Cruz's chin is going to get tested, but I do believe Davis can win by knockout. Now, can Davis win by decision? Absolutely. He is the better boxer here. So he can get in there and outbox and outwork Isaac Cruz if he boxes. Doesn't make it a dogfight completely, because I think that's bad for him. That's not the kind of style he wants to have against a guy like Cruz. But yeah, I definitely believe Davis can win a decision. What does it mean for Javonte Davis if he beats Isaac Cruz? Well, again, it's huge. You got Teofimo Lopez just waiting there after George Kambosos, in my opinion. I think Lopez is going to dominate George Kambosos. But if Lopez wins, the WBA is consolidating all their belts down to one champion per division. Lopez is a super champion. Davis is the regular champion. Why would they pass on a super fight like that? They both want it, so let's go get it, And, to be honest, Davis wants to win because if he decides to go up to 140, then he's got possibly Josh Taylor waiting there for him because he's the regular champ at 140 and Taylor is the super champ. So he's got big fights on the horizon. And it's huge for his career if he continues to look good and beats Isaac Cruz. So yeah, this is a big, it's going to mean a lot for Davis, his future in major fights if he wins. What does it mean for Davis if he loses? It's going to devastate him. It's going to devastate him if he loses to Isaac Cruz. He cannot afford a loss right now. It's really going to derail him. People are going to say he's not as good as we thought he was, and he's overrated, and all that junk. He needs to stay on par with all the other young kings and Vasily Lomachenko. He needs to stay on par with all them, continue to win to set up those potential super fights. Absolutely needs to win. A loss would kill him. What does it mean for boxing if Javonte Davis wins? Well, what I just said. Those potential super fights are right there. People are salivating, they're drooling for him, and Davis is part of the next generation, the next 10 years of boxing. Javonte Davis, we want him to be one of those stars. So it's big for boxing if Davis wins this fight. What does it mean for boxing if he loses? Well, it hurts boxing. He loses one of those next 10-year stars, the next generation stars. One of them drops off, Not to say he can't bounce back, but it would definitely hurt boxing if Javonte Davis lost. So now we're going to switch over to the underdog, Isaac Cruz. And basically what Isaac Cruz has been doing coming into this fight, he's been hot. He's on a big 3-fight win streak. Kind of wasn't beating a lot of big names prior to fighting Diego Magdaleno, but he destroyed Diego Magdaleno in 1 round. And that got the ball rolling for Isaac Cruz. It really did. I believe that win was last year. I want to say it was on the Charlo undercard, but he just absolutely wasted Magdaleno in 1 round. Surprised everybody with the dominance of that win. And hey, let's remind everybody, Teofimo Lopez stopped Diego Magdaleno, and it took him 7 rounds. So Cruz really impressed people by stopping him in 1 round. But then he followed that up beating, there was another undefeated guy he defeated after that by decision, a hard-fought decision. But then he fought former junior lightweight champion Francisco Vargas in June and just dominated Vargas for 10 rounds. He beat him up, dominated him for 10 rounds, and really showed everybody that he's hungry and ready to play in this division. And so that was impressive. So then, so now he's in line. He's been waiting. I mean, he was a potential opponent that people weren't really talking about, and that's why I predicted that it was going to be him to fight Davis next. Way back after Davis's last fight against Barrios, I said Isaac Cruz is the most logical choice. But in terms, it's a choice that makes the most sense based on who he fights for, So he knew he was a potential opponent. He's probably been training for this fight already, and he's hungry. He wants to make this fight. And Isaac Cruz, I believe, is riding his confidence high. Again, his only loss came early on in his career. So it's almost like that loss didn't even matter because it was like within his first 8 to 10 fights, and it's been a long time. So now he's coming in hot, ready to go, and hungry, and it's his first world title fight, so he's going to be ready. Now, what kind of fight does Isaac Cruz need to fight to win and beat Javonte Davis? I think his best chance of success is he has to get on the inside. He has to nullify Davis's reach and his ability to box by getting inside, forcing Davis against the ropes, forcing Davis into a dogfight. Now, that's still risky because Davis has a lot of power. He does. But Davis is better by setting his punches up. And he doesn't need to let Davis back him up. He needs to be the aggressor coming forward. Force Davis to fight off his back foot, not off his front foot. Davis is usually a stalker because he's the bigger puncher. Well, he might be the bigger puncher here, but Isaac Cruz is a dog that likes to come forward and fight. So he needs to be smart, and I think he needs to have head movement, side to side, work his way in, almost a Tyson-like style, adapt that to get on the inside and land shots and relentlessly just keep throwing once he gets in there. 4, 5, 6 punches at a time once you get on the inside, but he definitely needs to cut the ring off and bully himself in because Davis, because he's young and blooming still, I think he might get drawn in because he is a guy that once he smells blood in the water, he's a shark, but he doesn't want to be, Davis is going to, his whole corner, I'm sure Mayweather is telling him, you don't need to be a shark at all times. Get in there and box and set it up. And I think he's believing that and trying to do that. But you never know when you can draw a shark back to the blood. You never know. And I really believe that Isaac Cruz is experienced enough, hungry enough to possibly draw Davis into his kind of fight. Now, can Isaac Cruz win this fight by knockout? You never know. I don't know if he can hurt Javonte Davis. I haven't seen Davis really get hurt yet. But possibly he can land some good, solid shots. I think his best chance at stopping Davis is to make it a dogfight and get Davis tired and stop him in the later rounds. I think that'd be his best bet of stopping Javonte Davis. I don't think, because I haven't seen that, lights out power outside of Diego Magdaleno. I haven't seen that lights out power from Isaac Cruz to where I think he can one punch knock out Javonte Davis. You never know, but I think his better chance at knockout is to wear Davis down and stop him in the late rounds. Can he win by a decision? Again, it depends on if he can force him into his kind of fight. If he can force him into that dogfight and bully him and everything and score a lot of points that way, then it's possible. What does it mean for Isaac Cruz if he beats Javonte Davis? Oh, it's going to mean the world for Isaac Cruz. Biggest win of his career by far. He'll set himself up for a title shot, a legitimate title shot, and he'll be right there knocking on the door and bust into the top 5 at lightweight. So it's going to be huge for him. if he upsets Javonte Davis. What does it mean for Isaac Cruz if he loses? Well, to be honest, nobody's expecting Isaac Cruz to win. He's coming in a pure B-side, C-side, type fighter here. He is not coming in even close to being a favorite. Nobody's expecting Isaac Cruz to pull this one off. And if he loses, whether it be by knockout, whether it be by decision, it's not really going to hurt him. So he needs to go in there, balls to the wall, understanding that, to have a better shot at winning. But yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt Isaac Cruz all that much if he loses to Javonte Davis. Not going to hurt his stature whatsoever, in my opinion. He's going to have to start over from scratch, but so what? That's what you do when you lose a fight. You got to start over from scratch. What does it mean for what does it mean for boxing if Isaac Cruz wins? Well, again, as I said, I think it's going to hurt boxing a little bit. We need fighters like Javonte Davis, undefeated young lions like that on the rise. So I think it hurts boxing a little bit if Isaac Cruz wins. What does it mean for boxing if Isaac Cruz loses? Again, nobody's expecting him to win. I think it's not going to hurt boxing at all if Isaac Cruz loses. He's not one of those superstars. So, not really going to hurt it at all. So now, who do I think is going to win this fight? Javonte Davis or Isaac Cruz in this lightweight title fight? And for me, I'm picking Javonte Davis. I think stylistically, he has the edge in every department. I think he's stronger. I think he's the better boxer. I think he's figuring out his trade craft. I really do. Now, these are two bulls, two semis going into each other right now. Davis is coming off his 2 best wins of his career, and Isaac Cruz is coming off his last 3 fights. He's hot ever since he knocked out Magdaleno. He's hungry. But Magdaleno's an older fighter. And, Francisco Vargas, older fighter. Javonte Davis is young, stronger. Isaac Cruz never seen anybody like this. Davis now is used to the spotlight a little bit. He understands it. He knows those big fights are there. He's hungry. He's focused. He's in shape. I think Javonte Davis is going to come into this fight guns a-blazing. I see a knockout here. I think it can happen early on. I'm predicting more middle rounds, though. But I do think Javonte Davis is going to stop Isaac Cruz in the early to middle rounds. It could go into the deeper rounds where I think Davis is still going to stop him. But I don't think this fight makes it to the final bell. Now, I do believe Cruz is a live underdog, but I just don't think anything Cruz does is going to be able to stop Davis unless Davis is overlooking Cruz, or if Davis gets drawn into Cruz's kind of fight of going toe-to-toe. Then he might be in trouble. We've seen that happen recently. We've seen Anthony Joshua fall into a boxing match with Oleksandr Usyk, and we knew that was a mistake. So you cannot fight your opponent's fight. I think that's well known. So this fight's coming Sunday, December 5th, Showtime pay-per-view, WBA regular lightweight championship of the world. Winner likely in line for Teofimo Lopez if he gets by George Kambosos on November 27th. So big time action right here. But that's the breakdown video for Davis versus Isaac Cruz. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True boxing, you've been hit with the truth.